Hey guys, it's Sami, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited, as we are here on the 28th of August, 2020, to talk about everything that went down tonight on Friday Night Smackdown. And boy, did the last 60 seconds of that show just catch everybody off of guard. Or off guard. Not off of guard, off guard. Because I myself was not expecting to see Roman Reigns most likely possibly aligned with Paul Heyman, the man who he has gone, I guess you could say, verbally up against for so many years. In the 2 years or so that he feuded with Brock Lesnar, like, who saw this shit coming? I certainly didn't. And we'll get into it all once we get going. I do want to give my deepest condolences to the family of Bullet Bob Armstrong, who passed away yesterday. He had been fighting bone cancer. Also, I want to give my condolences as something we just learned right before we went on the air. Chadwick Boseman, who some of you may know as T'Challa in Black Panther, passed away today. I didn't know that Chadwick Boseman had been fighting cancer since 2016, but it was announced about 7 or 8 minutes ago on his Twitter account that he died. So tragic. And, I want to give my deepest condolences to both his family. I was a big fan of Black Panther. That movie was really cool. Thought it could have been a little better. And I heard some plot points that they were going to try to reach in the second one that would have made it a lot better. For me, at least, from stuff that I thought they should have hit from the comics in the first movie. But nonetheless, how do you do Black Panther 2 without Chadwick Boseman? Wayne says no audio. Is anybody else getting no audio? Because it's showing me that I'm giving audio. So I don't know if it's just you, Wayne. Maybe your stream is muted. But with that, we got Smackdown to talk about. Before we get into that, I want to let you guys know that you can support us here in a couple of different ways. First off, you can donate some bits and help us out in that way, or you can subscribe one of two ways. You can either subscribe by subscribing with a tier 1 subscription, or subscribe for free if you have Amazon Prime. If you have Amazon Prime, then you have what they now call Prime Gaming. And with Prime Gaming, you can actually subscribe to us absolutely free, since you're already paying that, $12 or so. I don't know. I don't pay for it. I don't have Amazon Prime. But that $12 a month or so for Amazon Prime, if you have that, then you have Prime Gaming, and you can subscribe to us for absolutely free. So I would greatly appreciate it if you use that subscription to help us out. Because if you don't use it, it's just money going to waste anyways. So with that, all right, everyone in the chat is telling me they can hear me. So it's just an issue for Wayne Montgomery. Also, remember, if you want to be part of the show, you can do so by texting in to 510-906-1341. Again, that number is 510-906-1341. The number is in the live chat, and it will be right down here, scrolling across the screen periodically throughout the show. Speaking about throughout the show, let's get into SmackDown. SmackDown opened up with a in memoriam graphic for Bullet Bob Armstrong. They then recapped The Fiend against Braun Strowman at SummerSlam, and Roman Reigns making his big return. In the back, we see Adam Pearce talking to some security guards about how The Fiend, Roman, and Braun are all here tonight, but we don't want anything to happen between the three. So everyone just needs to be on alert. Plus, you need to be on alert for retribution. So he then reveals, we really got to be on our game because the boss is here. We can't screw up when the boss is here. He was then intimidated by that boss, Mr. McMahon. McMahon said he has a mission for Pearce if he chooses to accept, which Vince says that, but then Vince also didn't give him an option to not accept. He noted that we need signatures on this contract so the match of Payback is official. He then told Adam Pearce, go find Bray, go find Braun, go find Roman. He's like, how am I going to do that? He goes, well, Bray's in the Firefly Fun House. That shouldn't be too hard. So he goes, okay, I'll go do that. Next up, Intercontinental Champion Jeff Hardy would make his way down to the ring. Hardy was about to say something when he was interrupted by the former champion, AJ Styles. Styles claimed that Hardy cried to the doctor to get a knee brace just so he can use it in their match. He then pointed out that that same doctor that allowed Hardy to wrestle last week has deemed AJ not cleared to compete. Hardy then said, that's good, because he's about to do an open challenge to anybody in the back except AJ Styles. Styles freaked out, yelled, and then Hardy was like, hey, that's what I'm going to do. Hardy then punched Styles right in the face as we went to commercial break. As we came back from commercial break, Shinsuke Nakamura was making his way down to the ring to accept the open challenge. AJ joined commentary. So Hardy had the early advantage as he worked over Nakamura's arm. Nakamura backed Hardy into the ropes. He then briefly locked on a headlock. Hardy fought back and hit an elbow for a near fall. Nakamura took over attacking the injured knee. Hardy was firmly the target of, well, the injured knee. Nakamura really worked it over. And I guess, Nakamura doesn't do any, knee submission, so I guess he just did it so Hardy couldn't climb to the top, which didn't work. They then cut to an interview. They said, we got Shinsuke Nakamura's tag team championship partner Cesaro here to talk about if he thinks, listen to this bullshit. We've got Cesaro here. Talk about if he thinks that Shinsuke is more of an overachiever than he is taking this championship opportunity. Trying to put a rift between your tag team champions? Bullshit. So Cesaro goes, I went to go get a cup of coffee, and when I came back, Nakamura was accepting this challenge. I guess everyone wants 2 belts nowadays. I'm just like, wow. So Nakamura rocked Hardy with some kicks, but Hardy recovered quickly. He said that, Nakamura then suplexed Hardy into the ring and tried to land on his feet, but his legs gave out. Hardy clotheslined Nakamura to the floor and followed it up with a sliding drop kick. They briefly fought at ringside when Hardy tossed Nakamura into Styles at commentary. After a commercial break, Nakamura was firmly in control as he worked over Hardy's knee. Graves apologized to Hardy for Styles throwing Nakamura into him, as he was, I guess you could say, Graves' guest at ringside. Hardy briefly took over again after hitting a whisper in the wind, but Nakamura recovered and hit a sliding German suplex. He followed this up with a knee off the second turnbuckle for a near fall. Nakamura then attempted a Kinshasa, but Hardy avoided it. This is a weird little sequence here because you can telegraph that Nakamura wasn't going to hit it because the cameras were on Nakamura one side of the ring. And when he went to run across the ring, he barely even jogged, if even that. It was he's running slow because Hardy's going to move. And then the camera pans with Nakamura, and Hardy's raised to his feet sidestepped. So this is a little weird. I don't know if maybe their timing was off or something, but it's all good. This then led to... where was I? Hardy then tried for the twist of fate, but Nakamura escaped. Hardy then hit Nakamura in the knee with the knee brace, or in the face with the knee brace, hit the twist of fate, swanton bomb, and successfully retained his championship. After this, Styles was furious, stating that Hardy cheated again to win this match and used that knee brace as a weapon. After the match, Hardy got in Styles' face and then walked off. And this is where things get good. As Hardy's at the top of the ramp, AJ is slowly stalking him. Hardy gets to the top, AJ's still down at the bottom, and then we hear it. Oh, let's go! Because Sami Zayn is back, everybody. And Sami Zayn is not just back, he's back with his Intercontinental Championship. Sami Zayn comes out onto the stage, basically looks at Jeff Hardy. He yelled something to where I believe he said, "I'm the real champ, you're a fraud." Him and Jeff are staring each other down. They both then look down at AJ as Sami Zayn walks off. So after commercial break, Caleb Braxton approached Sami Zayn. First, he wasn't willing to talk, but then he came around to it. He noted, you'd know why I'm here and why I'm upset if you followed me on Twitter. He noted that nothing changes around here because the questions are still terrible. That's what we've all been saying about these damn interview women. He then called Hardy and Styles frauds. He said he's the real Intercontinental Champion. Braxton wondered why Zayn wasn't around for several months to defend that title. Zayn said, well, there's several reasons. Zayn was really good here in the brief moments that we got him. Like 4 or 5 minutes of Sami Zayn. And he was peak Sami Zayn. Amazing. We saw him later. He was a little shit Sami Zayn later. And I'm just so happy that Sami's back. Because Sami's a bright spot on television. Because he plays his character so well. I said in NXT, Cameron Grimes is the perfect little shit heel. Sami Zayn as well. Sami Zayn is the perfect, I think I'm bad. I think I'm good. I think I'm great. I'm overconfident. I'm a little annoying piece of shit. And I'm a heel. Sami Zayn and Cameron Grimes are probably my two favorite heels right now in all of wrestling. Next up, we had the Firefly Fun House. Bray Wyatt was happy to be back in the Fun House. Said he couldn't help but feel that something was missing. Wyatt then revealed the Universal title. He said that he was pleased to see Roman Reigns back. We then got the doorbell ringing. Ding dong. Wyatt opened the door, and it wasn't Bayley with the ding dong. It was Adam Pearce dressed as a mailman. Wyatt called himself Postman Pearce and asked to let him in. Pearce asked for the Fiend's signature, but Wyatt didn't understand why he would sign. Pearce pointed out that Wyatt and the Fiend have a connection. Pearce got Wyatt to sign the contract for payback, and then he ran out. Pearce still has to go find Roman and Strowman. Last week, Graves claimed that the Firefly Funhouse is in an alternate universe. Apparently, Braun and Adam Pearce are the only ones that know how to find this alternate universe. No, I take it back. Braun, Adam Pearce, and Seth Rollins, who burned it down at one point. We then got a recap of Matt Riddle and King Corbin's feud thus far. Riddle came out and cut a promo. He brought up his recent problems with Corbin and said, Corbin, come out here and fight me. Suddenly, they cut to a break. Come back, and Riddle's still talking. He's still calling out Corbin when Corbin's music finally hits. Corbin slowly makes his way down to the ring, and as he does, Riddle is attacked from behind by Shorty G. Corbin then says, hey, you want to fight tonight? I accept your challenge on behalf of Shorty G. Cole pointed out that Shorty G is trying to win the King's Ransom bounty. We got Matt Riddle versus Shorty G. Kept it short, sweet. It's what it needed to be. Shorty G was in control earlier off of the sneak attack. Riddle, though, fought back and hit a gut-wrench suplex, but Shorty G blocked his second attempt. Shorty G then hit a tiger suplex for a close near fall. Riddle fought back, but Shorty G hit a German suplex. Riddle landed on his feet and hit Bro Derek for the quick victory. Match went, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes or so, but that's all it really needed to be for what this match was. After the match, Corbin attacked Riddle, but Riddle fought back, and Corbin then ran off. They then recapped The Miz and Big E's confrontation from Talking Smack last week, and then we see Big E in the back, and he's on, I guess, his phone, doing a TikTok or an Instagram or something, about how he doesn't want to be on Miz TV tonight, and Miz is like, whoa, you don't want to be on my show? He's like, I said all I need to say. I don't need to be on your show. And so Heavy Machinery come up to back. Well, actually, Sheamus comes up first for some reason to back Miz and Morrison. And they're like, 1, 2, 3, 1. Heavy Machinery then come up to back Big E. And, well, we got ourselves a 6-man tag, boys. So in the back, Adam Pearce knocked on Roman Reigns' door. He was back in regular clothes and got, well, no answer. Roman did not answer the door. Kayla Braxton is just standing around when all of a sudden Corbin walks by, so she stops him. Corbin was furious with Matt Riddle and challenged him to a match this Sunday at Payback. And I haven't checked. Let me see if this match has been officially announced yet. I think it was. Yeah, 2 minutes ago. It's official. Super King of Bros will battle King Corbin this Sunday at Payback. So this match is official for Sunday's Payback. Matt Riddle versus King Corbin. So there's a spot backstage where Big E is talking with Heavy Machinery, kind of about their upcoming 6-man tag team match and whatnot, when they're approached by Bayley and Sasha. Bayley makes a remark about how Big E's just working tags again. He thinks he could be a singles wrestler, but he's in a tag team match tonight. And then she makes the line of, maybe some people are only good enough for tag team titles. Sasha gives her a look like, what's that supposed to mean? As Bayley walks off and says, we got stuff to do. Let's go. Let's go. Bayley and Sasha make their way down to the ring. They recapped Bayley and Banks against Asuka at SummerSlam. Cole noted that Banks helped Bayley to win. Bayley didn't help Banks. Bayley then noted that this is one of the most challenging weeks of their lives. Both had to defend their titles against Asuka on Sunday, and now, this coming Sunday, they have to defend their tag titles against Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Bayley apologized to Banks for kind of egging her on to challenge Asuka for the Raw Women's Championship, where Bayley literally said, I shouldn't have had you challenge for that title. I shouldn't have told you can do it, because we all know you can't defend a Raw Championship. And I'm just like, this little bitch throwing that shade at her best friend. She literally said what we all know. Sasha can win a Raw Women's Championship, but when it comes to defending that title, she never is successful ever. Ever. As they say in The Sandlot. So the two are interrupted by Baszler and Jax. They both don't like each other still, but it looks like Shayna now actually wants to win the titles. She said that she's going to be happy to take the titles off of Sasha and Bayley at Sunday, even though she still doesn't like Nia. So I guess they've progressed in that at least. Banks was furious that she's no longer 2 belts Banks anymore. But she isn't going to lose her title this Sunday at the pay-per-view. In the back, Adam Pearce approached Drew Gulak. Not sure why. I guess he was asking if he'd seen Braun. And Gulak was like, yeah, if you see Braun Strowman, let me know, because I got a bone to pick with him. All of a sudden, Gulak spotted Strowman. He grabbed a chair, hit Strowman over the back with it, and then threw the chair to Adam Pearce and walked off. Strowman was furious. And Adam Pearce was like, hey, that wasn't me, that was Gulak. But I need you to sign this contract for Sunday. Excuse me. I need you to sign this contract for Sunday. And Strowman goes, all right, I'll sign your contract. If you give me Gulak right now, sign it after a match. And Pearce is like, fuck it. You can have whatever you want, big guy. So in the back, Cesaro confronted Nakamura about accepting the challenge without telling him. Cesaro then stated that he's going to take on Kalisto later, and Nakamura needs to be in his corner. When all of a sudden, Sami Zayn would appear, reuniting the little group they had. Cesaro and Nakamura were not the least bit excited to see Sami Zayn. Cesaro noted that things have changed since he disappeared. They haven't seen him in like 4 months, and he didn't even call to congratulate them when they won the tag titles. Zayn says he's excited to hang out as champions, and basically, they asked him to leave. They said, hey, we're having a little private meeting between tag team champions, so we're a little busy right now. And Sami was kind of just like, wait, what, huh? Oh, sure, and left. Next up, we got Braun Strowman versus Drew Gulak. Total squash match. Gulak re-signed a contract for this. Hey, job security, I guess. Well, actually, can't even say that. Because Anderson and Gallows thought they were re-signing with job security, and they were released as well. So Strowman completely dominated Drew Gulak. Gulak got no offense at all. Strowman even hit a senton at one point. He followed this up with a chokeslam and a power slam for the victory. Afterwards, he walked up to the top of the stage and signed the contract. Only Roman Reigns left to sign it. And my thought was, why didn't he go to Roman first? Are we supposed to believe, which we are, that this is a new changed Roman Reigns? Because back in the day, Roman, he was always approachable, always willing to speak with people that needed to speak with him. So I was under the impression for 99% of this show, why was it so hard for Adam Pearce to get in there to Roman, even if he could have just walked right in like he did? But we'll talk more about that in a moment. So in the back, Lucha House Party was talking. Kalisto noted that he learned from Lince Dorado's mistakes last week. He told Dorado and Metalik to stay in the back and watch how it's done. One of them are turning heel, and it might be Kalisto. Kalisto walked off when all of a sudden, I thought we were watching last week's Smackdown because Lucha House Party were attacked from behind. Why did I write this wrong? I wrote this wrong, but Lucha House Party were attacked from behind by Cesaro and Nakamura. So next up, we got Cesaro versus Kalisto. These two had a good, if not great, short match here. Cesaro jumped Kalisto at the start. Kalisto fought back and sent Cesaro to the floor with a tilt-a-whirl head scissors. He followed this up with a dive into a Hurricane Rana. Kalisto attempted a springboard crossbody, but Cesaro countered into a backbreaker for a near fall. Cesaro then took back over, but Kalisto scored another near fall. Cesaro quickly regained control. In a cool spot, Cesaro lifted Kalisto. He stood up on Cesaro's shoulders and then transitioned into a crazy but cool looking DDT. Nakamura tried to interfere when Lince Dorado and Grand Metalik would run down and attack Nakamura. Kalisto was distracted here, and Cesaro rolled him up for the victory. Where have we seen that recently? After the match, Kalisto blamed Dorado and Metalik for causing him the loss, which kinda they did, but at the same time, more Nakamura, so I don't know. Adam Pearce went back to McMahon's office, and I have to say, this whole contract thing was made a bigger deal with Vince being on there. Is it just me, or do I feel like this was an actual big deal because Vince was on the show, bossing Adam Pearce around saying, hey, this is important, we need to get this done, get your ass out there and do it. Like, to me, if Vince wasn't there and it was just Adam Pearce walking around, because we know Adam Pearce is not an authority figure, it would have just felt like whatever. But with Vince being on there, being like, hey, this is a big match for the pay-per-view. I trust you to get this job done. Go get it done. And we don't need Vince on TV every week, but if we get Vince on TV being an authority figure periodically, maybe every couple of weeks, once or twice a month, I wouldn't be opposed to that at all. Vince doesn't have to go to the ring and cut promos or anything, but if he's got somebody like an Adam Pearce or like a Jamie Noble, where he can call them to his office periodically and just be like, hey, this is coming up. We need this to get taken care of. Please go do it for me. Or, hey, this pay-per-view's coming up. Contract signing, but we're going to do it in the ring. You go moderate. I would love to see that. It just makes things, to me at least, and everyone's got their own opinions, but to me at least, makes things feel more important when you've got Vince there delegating the tasks of getting this stuff done. So Vince was basically like, hey, we got to get this done. Go get Roman's signature. And he's like, I tried knocking on his door, Mr. McMahon, but he wouldn't answer. And Vince is like, well, then just go in there. Open the door and walk yourself in. And Pearce kind of was just like, all right, I'll get it done. Still in the back, we see Tamina approach Nikki Cross. Tamina's like Big Show. 1 week she's a heel, 1 week she's a babyface. She's like, hey, what are you holding there, Nikki? And she's like, oh, it's a mug. It's the first gift Lexi ever gave me. And then all of a sudden, Alexa appears. Alexa got herself big old pigtails coming out from both sides. She hugs Cross and is overly happy. She then greets Tamina as well. They both say, hey, how you doing? When Nikki Cross realizes there's I guess you could say, dreadlock in Alexa's hair. Cross thinks the hairstyle is a bad idea because it looks like Bray Wyatt and The Fiend. Bliss went into a brief trance for a second. She then freaked out, grabbed the mug, and threw it on the ground. It shattered everywhere. And she walked off, and Nikki Cross looks scared. So, I guess they're right when they say everybody changes when you come in contact with The Fiend, not only if you have a match with him. And we'll see where this leads to for Alexa. I think it's something different. It's something new. It's a change. Maybe we get bipolar Alexa. Not bipolar. We get split personality Alexa, where one moment she's super happy, and then all of a sudden someone says a word or a phrase or something, and she's just like, what excuse me? And it just goes crazy. I'm all for it. I mean, I'll give it a month, see where it goes. Sheamus walked up to Morrison and Miz, and Morrison is just a bumbling fucking idiot. He goes, here's the plan. Tucker's a strong guy. Can't let him in the ring tonight. Here's the other plan. Otis is good and strong too. We can't let him in the ring tonight. Oh, and Big E, he's a great athlete. We can't let him in the ring tonight. And Sheamus goes, Miz is sitting there with his hand like this the whole time. And Sheamus goes, so your plan is to not let any of our opponents in the ring? How's that supposed to work out? Morrison goes, it'll work out good. And Miz is just like, are you kidding me? I'm just like, Morrison went from being one of, if not the number one male wrestler outside of WWE to coming back to be a comedy geek. Really? Okay. So we get the 6-man tag team match. It wasn't bad. It was solid. I'll give it that. It wasn't great. It was okay. It served its purpose. I'll say that. So before this match starts, Adam Pearce knocks on Roman's locker room door or whatever. Roman doesn't answer, so he just lets himself in. Roman walks up to him, and he was like, hey, Roman, I need you to sign this contract for payback so the match can actually happen. And Roman goes, all right. He asks for the pen and goes, I'm going to have to read this over first. And Pierce is like, hey, whatever you need to do, I need to get it signed. And hey, smart on Roman's part, not signing anything before he actually reads it. Then Michael Cole on commentary is kind of like, do we think Roman's actually going to sign the contract? So we get this 6-man tag match. Babyfaces have the early advantage. This was, though, until Sheamus hit Tucker with a knee. The heels then took over by isolating Tucker on their side of the ring. Tucker fought back and rocked Sheamus with a standing drop kick on the floor. Tucker attempted to pin Morrison in the ring, but Sheamus rang the bell, distracting everybody. Everybody in the match, everybody at ringside, everybody watching at TV. And I don't know what Sheamus' plan here was, but it stopped the ref from counting. It stopped Tucker from going for the pin. And then he just gets back up on the apron and the match continues. So I don't know what this was all about. After a break, Morrison and Miz were firmly in control. They continued to keep Tucker on their side of the ring. Sheamus tagged himself in, but the referee didn't see it. He was trying to get Otis and Big E out of the ring at the same time. Morrison jumped back in the ring and Tucker knocked Sheamus off the apron. Sheamus was furious and walked out of the match. When have we seen this before? It's the first time Sheamus has been pissed off during a tag match and just said, fuck it, I'm leaving. It's really not. It's actually pretty funny. But it fits Sheamus' character where he's just like, I don't need this shit. I don't even know why I'm in this match to start with. Because that was kind of like the last time he did it. I don't know why I'm in this match to start with. Fuck it, I'm out. So Miz tried to stop him and get him to come back, but Sheamus was too mad. Big E got the hot tag and ran wild on Miz. He had a series of belly-to-belly suplexes. He followed this up with a big splash. Miz hung Big E in a tree of woe at the top rope, but Big E quickly took back over. Morrison hit a double foot stomp on Big E. Otis ran wild on the heels. He attempted a caterpillar on Morrison and Miz, but Miz moved out of the way. Big E jumped back in the ring and hit the big ending on Miz for the win. The babyfaces win. They celebrate in the ring as we got about 2 minutes left in the show, and we go backstage. And in the back, Adam Pearce was still with Roman Reigns. Reigns says, "Hey, I'm going to show up at the pay-per-view. Trust me on that. You got my word. But I need a few things in this contract." He said, look at his side. Or he said, "I will be there. I need a few things put in this contract, though, before I'll actually sign it." He said, "And showing up, I'm going to win my title back. Title I never lost." And I'm thinking here. Did Roman not ever lose that Universal title or something? I'm pretty sure he did. But I can't remember who beat him for the Universal title. You know what I mean? Maybe he didn't lose that title because he never got it back when he left for his cancer stuff. So maybe he didn't actually. I know he's supposed to get that shot at WrestleMania and dipped out. But when Roman said, "I'm going to win back the title I never lost," he then went on to state, and I quote, "This is not a spoiler. It's a prediction." Camera then pans back as Roman is sitting on the couch with Paul Heyman. Yes, Paul Heyman, the same man that for 2 years back in like 2017 and 18 gave him hell up against Brock Lesnar. That's the last thing we see on the show as the show fades to black. Implementing Paul Heyman may be the new manager, the new go-to guy, the new advocate, as some may say, for Roman Reigns. Again, didn't see this coming. But if this is truly heel Roman Reigns, fuck yeah. I'm all for it. Just don't give me the big dog and the beast as partners eventually. Because that I don't want to see. I don't want to see Kevin or someone put Kevin in the chat so it confused me. I don't want to see Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar teaming together, though. That's something I don't want to see. But this here is very, very interesting. Then we move on to Payback. We got Payback this Sunday, live on the WWE Network. We've got... Let me pull up the card as I do some predictions here. We have 8 matches now announced. 6 matches. Oh, I was way off. 6 matches now announced for the Payback pay-per-view. Let's do a little predictions. Let's see who I think is going to win these matches here. Walk out victorious. First off, we do have in a singles match Keith Lee against Randy Orton. And as much as I don't want to say this, Randy Orton's going to win, leading to Randy getting another shot at the WWE Championship. But hear me out. Roman loses. Keith Lee wins. Randy. Randy loses. Keith Lee wins. Now, what if Drew says, "I'm still giving Randy a shot because of what he did to me." But Keith Lee comes out and says, "Hey, I beat Randy Orton. I should be getting a shot. I should be at the top of the mountain. I should be the first on the list." And they sign a 3-way for Clash of Champions. So, like, you know what? I'm switching that back up. No. I'm backtracking. Reverse. I'm going Keith Lee. I just talked myself into it. I'm going Keith Lee. Next up, in a tag team match, got Dominic and Rey Mysterio against Seth Rollins and Murphy. Forgot to mention, it was announced tonight during Smackdown Rey Mysterio versus Seth Rollins on Monday. And it's like, okay, but what about the pay-per-view? I'm going to assume Dominic and Rey are winning. That's my prediction. So I'm going to go Dominic and Rey winning, leading to Seth beating Rey maybe on Raw. But as far as Payback does go, I'm going Dominic and Rey. So going forward with the United States Championship on the line, Apollo Crews against Bobby Lashley. I mean, Bobby Lashley's got to win it, right? Bobby Lashley's got to win that championship. That's what I see happening because no one's banned from ringside to help him. MVP and Shelton Benjamin can help him out and help him win the belt. Going forward, announced tonight. Forgot to do this one. Matt Riddle versus King Corbin. I mean, Matt Riddle. Duh. You think Corbin's winning? Reevaluate your prediction. With the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships on the line, Bayley and Sasha Banks defending against Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. Another one that's kind of a no-brainer, but they could flip the script. I can really see them going with the champions losing, but I really don't think the champions should lose. So I'm going to go Bayley and Sasha Banks. Give me 1 second. Was another match announced? People are saying stuff in the chat. No. Okay. So I think Sasha and Bayley do retain their titles here at Payback. And finally, in a triple threat, no holds barred match with the Universal Championship on the line, we got the Fiend Bray Wyatt defending against both Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman. Now the question that's on everybody's mind, will Paul Heyman be at ringside with Roman Reigns? We don't know. Big question. But you know what? I'm just going to say it. Fuck it. Give that belt to Roman. Roman Reigns wins the title. Bada bing, bada boom. There we go. With that, those are my predictions for this Sunday's Payback pay-per-view. We'll be doing a live recap and breakdown of the Payback pay-per-view after it does finish on the WWE Network this Sunday night. So with that, guys, I want to thank you guys for joining me here tonight to talk about WWE Smackdown. Very interesting show nonetheless. You can always follow us right here, twitch.tv/PWUnlimited. And before we wrap it up, I do have actually a few text messages to read. The person here says, well, actually, they just asked if I think Bayley and Sasha are going to retain on Sunday. Yes. The person says, I'm not going to answer this one because I don't know. It's about Black Panther and Marvel and all that. I have no clue. This person says, Roman vacated the Universal title due to leukemia. Okay, I knew that. Then we got Braun versus Braun. I remember that. But for some reason, there was just something in my brain making me think that he had won it back since moving to SmackDown. But I guess he didn't. It was just for some reason, I had this feeling like he had won it back since moving to SmackDown. Or says, do you think Roman is a heel? Oh, fuck yeah. You don't have Paul Heyman with you if you ain't a heel. Finally, this person says, so is Adam Pearce the GM of SmackDown now or what? No. He's just an official within the company doing what Vince tells him to do. And this person says, is Ray signed to a new contract yet? That's a little tricky. Because I have heard that he did sign a new contract. I have been told that it is believed by many backstage within WWE that Rey Mysterio has agreed to a new contract. Now, we do know that Rey Mysterio was offered a 3-year deal to stay with WWE. I don't know if that's the deal he actually signed or not, but I'm under the impression by what I have heard is that many believe that Rey did sign a new contract to stay in WWE. So with that, got one last question here from the chat that I want to talk about real quick. It says, hey, how Paul Heyman to manage... Wait. Never mind. That question didn't make any sense. Also, Real Mr. Pickle said, did you see the Kenny Omega Photoshop? Yeah, that's completely fake. Some fan on Twitter Try to make it look like somebody used a Kenny Omega photo during the Thunderdome tonight. And I took a quarter of a second look at it and was like, oh, yeah, that's fake. Because A, the picture, let me just pull it up and show you guys what I'm talking about. Let me pull this up really fast. I'm going to do a little, let's see, let me pull this up here. All right. So we got this image here going around on Twitter. And you see, they made it look like, oh my God, Kenny Omega was in there during the Thunderdome, or a fan used a photo of Kenny Omega. Ha ha ha. I looked at this for a split quarter of a second and could tell you it's 100% fake. Two things. You see these black lines on these photos, these thick black lines? Those are what we call scan lines. Now you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and they're the exact same on this photo. The exact same on this photo. The exact same on this photo. Then you look at this photo, and the scan lines are like tripled. Plus, all of these photos are heavily zoomed in on, so they're very, very blurry. This one, pretty clear. I'm going to tell you right now, that was a Photoshop. Somebody took a screenshot from inside the Thunderdome deal, and then Photoshopped this square, which, I don't know, but they Photoshopped this square to make it look like Kenny Omega. Completely fake, 100% bad Photoshop job. Bad Photoshop job. If you're trying to make something look presentable and realistic to what the rest of the photo looks like. But with that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining me here tonight to talk about Smackdown. You can follow us right here on Twitch, twitch.tv/PWUnlimited. If you missed any of this show or any of our previous live streams, you can catch those on youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. You can follow us on Twitter at PWUnlimited. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD. Follow us on Instagram by searching for Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Follow us everywhere else we're at, like our website, PWUnlimited.co. Remember, again, we will be live after Payback this Sunday. So with that, guys, have a great night, and I'll see you next time.